going live. Here we go. Let me make sure we've got everything up and running. We're signing on to YouTube to do a tooltip about fun stuff because that's who we are. Little Metal Foxes. Tooltips. Hi. Hi, everybody. There we go. And it's coming on live. There we are. Hi. It's me, Jennifer, Little Metal Foxes, and
Julia from Little Metal Foxes.
And
live from Florida, Helen, Little Metal Foxes.
Yay!
We're all on the same continent.
We
I know.
Exciting. And I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to have you back in the States, even if you're far away. It's great to see you.
I know.
So, I don't know if I shared this with you to jump right into tooltips here.
Let's jump in the tooltips.
Jump into tooltips.
Pounce.
So here we go. So a while back, I was looking because I really hate going and buying like individual little packs of sandpaper, and the fine stuff is super expensive if you buy a whole pack of it, and then you end up with like one or the other. So I was on Amazon.
And you never know what you might need, So
exactly.
A sample pack is perfect.
A sample pack is great. And I found on Amazon a pack of sandpaper which is nice because these are usually the width that I'm kind of liking. And they're about 3 inches wide and 9 inches long. So they're a good size, right? And they range from like 400 to 7,000 grit, which is great. That way I have a choice of which sandpaper to use. And we all know how important a choice is.
Indeed.
Especially indeed. Things like, this, that make a difference, in what you're doing. And I just feel like it's really important to have a choice when it comes to things like this, how you finish things and go about making decisions about what you're going to do, and having
end products,
Yeah. And having, exactly. How things are going to turn out, this kind of choice makes a big difference by the time you get to the end.
Yes.
But this is really great. So I've got, lots of options, right? Not everybody's going to use all these options, and that's okay. You don't have to use all the options. You might, for example, choose if something's already like polished and beautiful and wonderful and great shape. You may not need to go through all the rough, beginning ones. You might not have to go through sanding it all down and roughing it all out and making it look great. It may already be great. You don't have to choose to use those. You may just, need to polish it, and that's fine. So you don't have to have like an extreme measure when it comes to sandpaper, right?
Right.
Yeah. So the other thing I was going to share with you because of that, because a lot of people say, how do you make rings with, clean up the inside of rings? These are very helpful. I love these. So these are a selection of split mandrels, right?
Mm-hmm. I love my split mandrel.
Split mandrels, and I love these. I also refer to these as the flat mandrels. A lot of people call them flap mandrels because of the way they
flap. Yep.
Move. But not everybody likes this kind of split mandrel. But I like that there's a set that gives you a small, a medium, and large. So you have a choice of which size you're going to put into a hole, like a ring, like the inside of the ring, and you can kind of like get in there. And if you've got a selection of sandpapers, you can choose the one that's going to be best for you personally in what you're doing and applying it to be able to take it up to the end result. So using these, you can't pull out a big piece of sandpaper. You've got to customize it for the little mandrel here. So what I like to do is cut some little strips, and you can pre-cut the strips so that they are the width of what you're working on. So it's like I just kind of like prep some up here, so I'll end up with
well, and you don't have to use the whole length of the mandrel, right? Like you can actually have a narrower strip.
Yeah,
and then
I might have some strips that are like smaller strips, and that's really helpful. And so I may not use like a whole lot of that, and that's okay. Some people will do like to get into smaller areas, you might want to cut something like a little triangle like
Yeah,
this
make a little taper.
and make a cone that can fit into like really small areas. So those are really nice. And sometimes you might just want to have a piece that you can kind of put on your desk and do like a little sanding area. And
I have a little piece of sandpaper right next to the sink where I do like the pumice and stuff, because then, I can just kind of, if there's like a little, I don't know. I mean, I've been working with steel a lot recently, so I like have some that got rusty.
Yeah, right. So yeah, put some down by your sink, and you can use stuff like the nano tape and put some by your sink, and that way it sort of sticks down. So if you cut, like little parts out, and that's always great. So, but yeah, you can shape these pieces, the way that you want. So you've got, little triangles and little snippets, and you don't need to throw it away, and little, nice little strips. So you've got, just cut out your little strips and stuff, and then, you've got a really good, nice little selection of choices to work with. So have a choice of sandpaper.
That's right.
Choices. Everybody should, have a choice.
And whatever works for you.
Yes. And we support your choice here at Little Metal Foxes. So get on it. It's not too late to make a choice at this point too. I know a lot of people are very aware that today is November 4th, 2024.
November 5th.
Sorry, 5th. It is later than I think. November 5th, 2025. And in this day's age, we still have choices of what we're going to do with our sandpaper. So, good to know.
So, yeah, I also love the little story that you told about your coworker this morning.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, I went into work this morning and referring to today's election. And I went into work, and half of the people that were at work, one of them has already voted, and the other person was like, my ballot has gotten lost. Is it too late for me to go vote and register? And I'm like, no, it's not. You can actually go to a voting center. You can register, make sure you've got your IDs with you, and you can go and register and vote today. So
check in your state.
Check in your state.
Maybe different than Washington state.
Absolutely. Here in Washington state, you can go to washington.gov. You can go to vote.org and find out which state you're in and what the voting requirements are.
Well, you probably know which state you're in, but you can find out what the requirements are.
You can find on the website which state you're in, and
find your state.
That will give you the information for your area. Right. So if you're interested in making sure that your voice is heard, because your voice is important, we are all about expression and supporting artists and making our voices heard, and everybody's voice is important. And I think that all of those, all the voices that make this country what it is, and I'm saying this as an ex-military person, and Julia is pacifist, Quaker background, I'm ex-military background. Helen and I both grew up in the South.
I'm standard vanilla American citizen.
Vanilla. So, it's important to know that all the voices make it interesting, that make this country amazing. So we're here.
Well, it's not a conversation. It's not a conversation unless everybody gets a say, right?
Exactly right.
And unless everybody's heard. And we're all about that at Little Metal Foxes. We love the interchange and even the argument, right? The discussion about how to do things right. Yeah. Because sometimes there isn't only one way to, especially this is true for jewelry, there isn't only one way to skin a cat. And so, there's lots of different ways to solder. There's lots of different ways to sand. There's lots of different ways to saw.
There's lots of different ways to, make make different things happen. And yeah, so I think, you know,
And,
as
and
artists,
we love the community
exactly. Yeah.
of this skill
Mhm.
and the community that we have here in the United States.
Yeah. And it brings so much, you know, color and passion and discussion and vibrant energy to the world that it's important for us to be passionate about what we do and support others that do what we do as well, regardless of what their particular choice might be. We want to make sure that you know you're always welcome here, but it is
Absolutely.
important that
Yeah.
your voice is heard, that you express yourself, that you vote, and that is your right and civic duty.
And obligation. Yes.
And
Absolutely.
cats.
Here you
Hello,
go.
cats.
And Mr. Darcy, and now a word from Mr. Darcy's butt.
Cat tax. Yay.
Yes.
So
Yes.
anyway, yes. So yeah, wishing you all the best. Know that you know, we're all love here. Love always wins. And but we're open to conversation, open to debate. And but yeah, get out there and make your voice heard. It's not too late.
Yay.
Go vote. All right.
Good luck.
Good luck, everybody. Mwah.
All right.